Alright, let's do this. Okay. Alright, so the first thing that I want to mention is that it would have helped me a lot if you'd press tab a whole bunch so I could see the actual composition here. So you have Moira, Reinhardt, Junkrat, and I think I saw Hanzo earlier. And also pressing tab also helps you. It's a good way to get like just an easy look at like what is your team comp, and okay, so picking nano targets, right? Because you have to think about every time you play Ana, you're gonna have to think about immediately which targets are the best ones to nano. In this case, it's a bit dodgy, right? Because you have. I also like how you're kind of looking for a good position here. Like it's too bad that these idiots over here are. Yeah, it's just gonna happen. It's unfortunate. People are gonna feed like crazy. Gonna take in bad positions. Try, like, what I wanted to see here maybe was you trying to experiment a little bit with high ground and try to, because I know that there's some high ground back here. You can walk in here and then go upstairs and try to walk in. There's a spot that you can, I think if I turn, it's probably easier to just show by second. Yeah, here, right? I'm not sure how much, I think you can actually jump up on these boxes. And that might give you a better overview of some of these things. Unfortunately, of course, as said before, this is a thing. It shouldn't be, but it is, because this is solo queue and people do weird stuff.
4, 3, 2, 1.
So you're trying to deal. I don't know, I still think maybe if you took that high ground up there, you'd be a little bit exposed, but I think there's some boxes up there and you can jump down very easily, start running this way. I think that might be better, because high ground is just so good when you're playing Ana, if you can get into a position where you're not too exposed and you get that, because you get that big oversight on your allies. You don't have to worry about the whole, you know, hitting someone that you don't mean to hit. You have a better chance of hitting the nades you want to hit, because someone doesn't suddenly run in front of you, or, you know, like, yeah, and it's just easier to hit the nade, at least in my experience from high ground. It's a lot easier to see where you want to get the nade in. And I see you've been practicing a little bit with the quick scoping as well. Right, yeah. This is also just where I think you mentioned that no one was in team chat, of course. Of course. Like, yeah, obviously. Solo queue, why would you ever want to play like a team, right? But this is where, if anyone was in voice chat, you just start telling people to just back up, back up, back up, back up. Why are we still down here? Why are we still down here? There's no point to like, we're one man down. Like, we're taking a fight up here. Luckily, maybe this Genji's gonna feed. Yeah, that Genji fed, so never mind. We're... we traded. And your Moira's doing the face tanking, Moira? My least favorite Moira.
You're covered.
Here's another situation where I think you mess up the reload a little bit. Let me see. Yeah, this is a situation. You have ample time here to reload. Because Moira's... I mean, I understand your concern. But at the same time, it's Moira, and I don't think she's used her shift. Let's see. No.
Scratch, you'll be fine.
Or what? Does she use it? I don't think she does. No, so that's a thing to be aware of. Like, if your Moira hasn't... If you haven't seen her use a shift in a while, and of course you can always make a bad judgment call there, but, you know, Anna's all about taking those important decisions and just sticking with them and hoping that that was the right one. In this case, I would say you've got ample time to actually reload here. This is a good chance to just, you know, get, like, the reload is so key with Ana, because people can die while you're reloading, right? And so you want to have that magazine as full as possible, as often as possible. But, of course, like I mentioned in the last video, you also want to, you know, watch out that you don't start reloading at a time where you actually do need to just keep shooting and hope for the best, really. But this is, you know, this is the time. Half your shots are gone. You've got a Moira in there, okay, but she's getting shielded. I think that's a shield. Maybe that's just a blast from the right, the Zarya right click. Not sure. I think that's a shield. No, that was just a blast. Never mind. The Zarya's there to protect. It's Junkrat's running in with all his, you know, spam. So there's a lot of pressure being applied here. You have time for a reload. You definitely have time for a reload. And this is where you panic because, oh shit, I'm out of shots. I gotta hit an 8. That happens. Because you're standing behind your teammates. Like, I can see what you're trying to do. You are trying to get, like, an ankle on them here. But it's not... Again, the nade is still gonna be an issue. Because of the way that it has that weird trajectory. If you were up there, you would be a little bit exposed, but you would have a lot of getaways. And you have those boxes up there, I think. I can't remember. So I think it would be a lot better if you were either up there, or if your team weren't a bunch of dunces, but you were holding a bit further back on point, and you could hold on the right side. On the high ground there, jump up on the boxes and hold the high ground there. I think you could have just stayed scoped in there, to be fair, but whatever. Yeah. Yeah, I think you did waste a little bit of time by not just staying scoped here. Went out. I think you should have just stayed scoped and healed the Moira there. It's fine. I don't have a problem with that sleep. It's fine. I don't know. Maybe you should have waited a little bit, because there might have been a better opportunity for a sleep later. Like, it's fine to just take a person out of a fight, but the problem is your entire team is just shooting, trying to, you know, do damage to them, so they're gonna wake them up immediately. So I actually don't think you should have used your sleep there. I think you should have kept it a little bit, have a little bit more trigger discipline with your sleep dart, to get more value out of it. Because it doesn't get a lot of value here, unfortunately. Like, see, here, I think that this would probably have been a better, because she just goes straight for you, right? She sees you, go. Oh my fucking god, Windows. No, I don't want... worst times. Like, they actually... Microsoft manages to find the worst fucking times for this shit. Anyway, yeah, no, she goes straight for you, right? So hitting the... In this situation, it might not have been necessary because she was already pretty low health. But if you had... You could have potentially gotten more value out of your kit because you're done asleep on her, and then maybe your teammates would have started backing up, and you could hit the nade on both the D.Va and your teammates. Right? So you would have gotten a lot more value out of that, both, like, you know, ultimate-wise, you would get more out of that, and... there would be a lot more, just, yeah, in general, I think that would have possibly have been higher value, possibly. That was an interesting flick. I think what happened there was that you were trying to look for the baby D.Va. Right, because you do a little, where's she going? Reinhardt probably knocks her away. I actually don't, where the hell is she, actually? Oh, there, she goes that way? Yeah, I don't know, I can't even see her. But the thing is, you don't, like, right now, that's not at all your priority. Like, the thing is, she gets kind of stunned for a moment, right? In her mech, right? Like, I think it actually does last the same amount of time that, like, a McCree stun or something lasts, right? Where she loses her mech. There's like a small stun effect for a little while where the mech is breaking down, and then she jumps out. And she's very, you know, she's low health, and she's not a big worry for you. Like, you're not that low on health, you know, so even if she comes after you, you still have your sleep up. you know, you have a lot of things here. That means that you don't need to worry about that. It would be a lot better if the minute that she comes out of that mech, and this is, I mean, this is also what I like to see here, by the way. Like, you, instead of wasting any more time on the D.Va, you just immediately... 1 second, let me just see it again. Yeah, you nade her, and then you touch around, because I think you realize that she's so low that she's gonna, you know, she's gonna get destroyed here. She's not gonna be able to kill you. She's not close enough that she can, like, you know, get a bunch of headshots on you or something. So you realize that you're not in any danger, so you start healing your teammates. That's a really good decision. But then you kind of fuck it up, I think, because you do that little flick there. I think it's because you want to try and hit the baby D.Va, and that's just not your priority right now. It just isn't. It would have been a lot better if you had... Luckily, I think you clutch it out anyway. Can't remember what happens here. Yeah, no. Going for that sleep dart is fine. I don't have a problem with that. That would have been huge if you hit it, but again, that's just practice. There's nothing really to say about that. The thing here, though... Here's the thing. This happens. It's a cooldown, a really important part of your kit that goes off cooldown and is now available. And what happens next? You don't use it at all. And I realized that it probably wouldn't have been team fight saving, but any pressure you can apply to an ulting Genji, even if it's just a melee punch, helps. Anything helps there. Because the biggest problem with Genji ultimates often is that the team just doesn't even turn around to try to, like, put damage into him. If you nade an ulting Genji, at the very least, you might make him panic a little bit, right? Because it has that whole thing with the anti-heal effect, where, you know, that awful beeping sound starts, you know, it goes, sounds like a fucking, you know, old dial-up modem or something, awful screeching sound, and you get all the purple bullshit on the screen. So that could potentially maybe have made him panic a little bit. And it's just, like, any damage that you can pour into this guy, you know, and it would help you too if you hit it in a way where, like, yeah, I don't understand. And this happens a couple of times during the match, if I remember correctly, where you don't, like, because, like, what are you saving it for here, really? Like, I do want to question that. Like, maybe there's something I'm completely missing, but I don't think that there's anything relevant to save it for here. Yeah, going for that shot there, that's fine. Again, you still got that. You still have cooldown here available to you. Just immediately when you see Genji diving like that, you know you're alone. Just look down on the ground, nade, boom, pour it on the ground, because you're an adult, right? And Genji's the man, and he can't tell you what to do, right? So you need to fuck up his system. Try as much as you can, you know? In general, by the way, when you're fighting a Genji in close quarters, try to bait his melee. Instead of shooting him, try to bait his melee by punching him. Like, nade, keep punching him. Hopefully you bait out his deflect. And then you can start shooting at him, and your teammates can start shooting at him. And that makes it a lot easier. Thing is, not only is your nade, you know, like, here's the thing with Ana, like, the thing you just gotta learn to do a lot is just look at the ground and nade. Like, just quickly down, boom, nade. And that could, like, the minute that you saw Genji come in there, you should have just scoped out, looked down, quickly, nade it. Yeah, that was a quick burst of damage, but I think, like, if you'd done it the minute you saw him dash in, potentially you could have managed to get it off. little downtime, walking back. I don't know, I think you're looking at it, looking for an angle again, and that's completely okay, because you're, like, this freaking map, where do you stand, what do you, like, no one even, I don't think even anyone knows still at this point, like, what the best places are to be. But your team actually chooses to hold up here, so I would say, if it wasn't because you're probably still experimenting, so whatever, but, like, if, you know, another time, just don't start walking this way, just start walking that way, you know, and try to get into a position with teammates, because even though they might be holding a little too close, they're choosing to hold it close, so just try to get maximum value out of it. This is, I mean, it's not necessarily bad, like, spawn camping does happen even in pro play, right? So this isn't even necessarily bad, it's just that I'm not sure that people know that that's what they're doing. You know what I mean, right? Like, they're doing something good, but they don't know why they're doing it. Normally, people try to hold here, actually. They use this gate here as a choke point. You'd normally hold in this area. Might start seeing that if you climb up to, like, around Platinum, High Plat, Mid Plat, they might start doing that. Yeah, this is just a BM spawn camp. Love it. Again, though, this freaking Moira, man, like, yeah, you just gotta try to help the special people. This is funny, right? Because, like, this is where you can see that good mechanics isn't necessarily what takes you to a good ring, right? Because this freaking Genji here, like, as we saw earlier, he was actually quite good mechanically. Like, he just, you know, he did the right-click, dashed in, meleeed you, right? He's got the mechanics down. But he just keeps feeding over and fucking over again. Game sense is so important in this game. Like, if they would just regroup here... Yeah. Second. Yeah. One thing you can do to optimize the speed, like, unfortunately, I think Moira is one of those characters that you just can't get the entire damage combo onto, because she does that shift and it's just instantaneous. But one thing I think you can do here is that you can actually kind of queue actions in Overwatch, right? So if you hold down left mouse button, or you click left mouse button, and then you immediately, like, after you've commanded that action... Okay, a better example is actually Roadhog, right? If you hook someone, as they're being hooked, you can actually hold down left mouse button, and he'll shoot immediately when the hook animation is over. And the same thing goes for a lot of abilities in Overwatch, where you can sort of queue actions. And I think what you're doing here is that you're trying to do, you know, you're trying to shoot, and then nade, right? Like, you click, click, whereas you should just click, click. You know what I mean? So you queue the action, and so you get much more damage out a lot faster. I hope that makes sense. But again, Moira's, yeah, she just gets away too easily. I can't tell if this is because, like, in the ranks I usually play, you never hold here, right? You never spawn camp. So I'm so confused as to what, like, would there be a better position for you here? Like, could you potentially maybe go up here and stand behind this thing up here? I can't even remember if you can actually stand behind this, but I think that might actually be a better spot than here on the low ground. I think you need to experiment a lot more with high ground. And you might fail a bunch of games because of that, because you start experimenting with high ground and you're going to get caught out because you're going to be in bad position. But I really think that would help you a lot, is to experiment with standing on high ground a lot more. Try to seek it out. I understand that in this situation you might be a little stressed and trying to heal people so you don't feel like you have time. The Moira is there though, so again, she is my least favorite kind of Moira. She's the face tank Moira, but still. Exactly, that's yeah. You just do that every time Genji tries to dive you, right? You get the nade on yourself, you get the nade on him. Like that's really good, and I also like how I think you are. I'm not sure if you try to hit the Genji or if you are on purpose going for the wall there. But that is the good thing to do. What the hell is wrong with Genji's face, by the way? Yeah, because he jumps up there, right? There's a wall right there. You don't have to aim for him. You can just aim for the wall, and the splash will take care of the rest. Easy. And he actually backs off. That's interesting, isn't it? He actually panics enough that he backs off, but then he realizes that it doesn't matter, and he's got Blade up, so, you know, do whatever. Oops. That's unlucky. Fuck. Sorry, I'm still a bit ill. Yeah, he walked straight into the visor. I don't think you had to. I don't know, I think maybe you're probably panicking here, trying to put him right. You see him dash that way, so you start walking this way to maybe try to buy a little time and get some heals off. But then you walk into the visor instead. You didn't have to go around the corner. Shit happens.
Old soldiers are hard to kill.
Oh, by the way, did I mention that it still triggers me a little bit that you're running windowed mode? I can't remember if I mentioned that, but that's like, I'm looking at it and it's like, input lag. I don't know, whatever you feel most comfortable. Fine. But do consider running dedicated full screen, please. Yeah, just get out. This guy's feeding. Your Reinhardt got it right. Regroup. This is funny. It's like I see a lot of like Reinhardts in this rank who are actually really good shot callers. I think it's because this is like the rank where it's before they get jaded. Like they figure out that they have to like solo carry on tank somehow. I'm still not sure. I'm not sure. This position is... You're standing very much out in the open, first of all. I think you could maybe go up here, potentially. In this case. Experiment more with high ground. It's like, try to figure out where high ground is, because I was suggesting maybe you just follow your team in, but the fight is quite close up here, I can see. So that might not be the best idea. But definitely you need to not be in this huge open space right here. They don't have a Widowmaker, right? But if they did, and this wasn't silver gold rank where they can't hit a fucking shot for the life of them, you would probably be dead very soon, very quickly. Yeah, and again, if you were up there, I think you'd have a better line of sight down onto like where, you know, like you'd be able to see your entire team here. I think just learn to, like, whenever you have time, whenever you feel like you have just a little bit of time extra, just start walking towards some high ground and try to just learn from trial and error which high ground is better. Get jumped a bunch of times, figure out where you can run to if you can get away. Yeah, again, here's the thing. People standing in front of them, in front of you, you're gonna have a hard time hitting your nade here because the payload's there, yeah, it's... Ugh. This. And here's the other thing, right? So you save it. I don't think you should have, but you did. And now, this is interesting, isn't it? What is she doing? She's feeding. She's coming right into your line of sight, and you have this. You have this. So what happens? You look around, confused, because you're probably panicking. What happens? Yeah. The Genji goes in. Still have this. You still have this. Mercy's there, you still have this.
back into the fight.
You still have this. What are you saving it for? Like, I'm so, like, this thing is huge if you get it on the right person. And you could have gotten on the Genji. That wouldn't have been as huge as if you'd hit it on the Mercy. That would have been even bigger, right? Because then she can't self-heal. Now, your team is unfortunately pretty incompetent. They don't do anything about the Genji or the Mercy either. They should have been punished so fucking hard for doing what they did. But you're holding this. Holding that. I'm just, you know, I'm trying to understand, like, I'm trying to think, is there a reason that you could be holding it? It's because you're saving it for some moment where, but I can't really think of any better time to use it than either on that Genji who's attacking you, or that Mercy who's feeding. Yeah. There's another thing I remembered thinking about. He comes in here, doesn't he? Yeah, here we go. Alright. So here's a little more trigger discipline with the nade, as I mentioned before. Could maybe actually have helped you here, because the thing with Genji is, of course, he has that freaking double jump. In general, it's not advisable to jump in Overwatch, because it makes your trajectory a lot more predictable, right? Like if you know, if you like you're jump strafing or something, like if you're moving, like, you know, you're strafing around like that's a lot harder to hit than, let's say, you jump to the side. Predictable, very predictable, right? He does something now that's gonna make his path predictable, because he's double jumping here, right? So you got the double jump. You can always just wait for the double jump, because now there's only one way that he's gonna go. It's down. Right. Like he could potentially maybe go a little bit to the side or do something, right? But there's his path from this point henceforth is going to be super predictable, no matter where he's gonna go. Okay, that actually didn't make any sense. It's gonna be predictable because there's only so few places that he can go. I don't know where are you going. Yeah, he went to space. That was very predictable. No. Let me just see what happens. Yeah. He goes slightly to the side. But still, he goes in a much more predictable arc. Let's slow it down a little bit. Turn this shit off. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, so you can see he starts falling in that predictable arc there. So a little more trigger discipline with the sleep dart would have helped you. Potentially you could also just wait, walk up to him, start meleeing him, nade him, for crying out loud. Nade him, start trying to melee him, try to bait out the deflect, then you can start shooting him. Yeah. Try to wait for someone like this, you know, a flanker or something, to like make their trajectory just a little bit too predictable, right? Like when you're dealing with a tracer, for example, that is a hard fucking sleep to hit. Right. But it can be done if you have a little patience and you just think, like, just for like a split second extra. You don't, like, of course you can't think for too long, because then it's just like you're never gonna get it off, but just a split second extra might have helped you here. And I still don't, like, I don't know, do you turn around because of the soldier? Because your focus should be over here. This is where things are happening. This is where things are happening. But you start looking the other way. I'm not sure. Like, it's... Because the Genji goes over there? You start looking... Oh, okay, Could have sworn you started. Yeah, no, but it's still you overcompensate way too much here for like the way that he's going. The mercy is still over here, right? And she's feeding like a motherfucker, but she's not getting punished for it. And you could have punished her so fucking hard. I'm gonna keep harping on this because it's several times now, and I don't understand.
Get back in the fight.
That's also a good place to go for a cheeky nade, by the way. You see those two guys standing together? The healing field is up. That's a really good spot to just try to go for a nade anyway. Like, whatever. You didn't use it when it was very valuable. Like, it could have been potentially huge, but this could also be pretty good. Like, just immediately when you see two people standing together like that, like, especially when it's two squishies, just fucking try to throw the nade, because, yeah. That is a little funny. Sorry. You tried to shoot him through the walls. It's okay. Sorry, I just had a coughing fit there. I feel like you could have done more there, maybe, potentially. Because the thing is, he uses his Helix rocket right there. And that's the moment where you should think to yourself, oh, he actually fucked up, because he doesn't direct hit you. You just take a little bit of AoE damage. If he direct hit you, that's the moment where you run, right? But here you still have this tool, and you still got a lot of HP. You're not gonna get one shot by anything here, I don't think, of any of the things they have. But I think you could have applied a little bit more pressure on that soldier, because he's botting out and shooting rockets when he shouldn't. But yeah, no, never mind. It's fine that you turn your attention over to the team, actually. Here's the thing, though. Now you forget to turn your attention over to the team. You're in a very exposed position, and you're shooting at a diva. Like, I guess it's fine for getting up your ultimate, but there's a lot of stuff going on over here. I think we should be looking, like, you choose to not apply pressure to that soldier, so you just choose to go out and focus on your team. Then go out and focus on your team. Don't stand at the front line. This is nade. Oh, Jesus.
You're going to be okay.
Like, again, I think I understand your reasoning there. You're very scared that she's gonna get bursted. First of all, I still don't think that she can actually get one shot. Okay, no, if the soldier hadn't been botting out yet again and actually hit a direct on her, she would probably have been dead there. But that also means that the nade wouldn't do any difference. The thing about Moira, though, is of course that she presses shift and she's just immortal. Whatever, you know, runs away. So you don't, like, you don't have to nade her. You can just... You don't have to lose that part of your kit. And yeah, she still had her own orb up, so... Yeah, again, this is one of those moments where now you're just kind of looking at a visoring soldier. I don't know if it's because you're confident that you still have enough health that you can manage to back in, but I think I'd still suggest the whole thing with, like, protect yourself before you start trying to help out your teammates by shooting a DPS that does way more damage than you do in a much shorter time. Again, he bots the fuck out here and can't, like, he's truly a bot burger. Hit him. Cheeky. But somehow he manages to not kill you. Even though you are low as fuck. Like, he just panics and thinks, I should run away. So he gets no value. I mean... What the fuck? But no, in, like... If this was not a complete bot, guy wasn't a complete bot, you should have walked in there, right? Because then you could have didn't cover. You could have thrown out a nade. You could have taken some cheeky shots without risking too much. That could potentially be a good time for a nade, by the way. Because you have two targets standing together here, right? You have the Zarya, you have the D.Va. You're hitting two people with a nade here. One of them an ally that you're getting a heal boost, another one that you are anti-nading. Good time for a nade. But you don't use it. There's a lot of stuff here that you could try to hit a nade on. That potentially would have good value. Here we go again. Try to hit the... I have a think that sleep should actually have hit. But I don't know, maybe it's because the... I think I would advise to try to wait just a little bit longer. Again, we're talking like milliseconds here of reaction time, right? Because you can't wait for too long with trying. You gotta just try to go for the shot in the end. But I think maybe the animation fucks with both mine and your perception of the hitbox. Because I'm like, hey, what's happening? Because he's right here, right? So that's his hitbox. Let me slow this down completely, because I've been looking at this quite a bunch of times, and I'm just so confused as to exactly what happens, right? Hitbox is there. You're aiming... Well, you are aiming next to him right there. But then you aim that way. Because his hitbox is here, and you hit there? Oh. Yeah, because you even flick this way. No, that's weird. But yeah, no, immediately when you miss that sleep dart. I'm gonna keep doing this a lot. Because it's so key to use it. Like, you didn't use it over there. If you'd used it over there, of course you wouldn't have a choice. You'd have to, you know. And that's about thinking about ults, like economy, right? Like, when was the last time Genji ulted? It was quite a while ago, so he's probably got Blade. So maybe I need to save a sleep dart or a nade for him, but I don't think you use it. No. You still don't use it. What are you saving it for? What are you saving it for? So what is this weird echo that's going on? Did your mic capture the sounds from the game or something? Because it's weird. No. Just be a bug, I guess. But it sounds like it sounds like layered. Positioning is not too bad, I don't think. Yet. You do need to back up right now, though. You need to back the fuck up. But your Sarah's in front. Now you can actually stop backing up. You're looking for someone who's dead. Like, you don't look at him. Don't. No. Forget him. He's feeding. That's also a good place for a nade. Good thinking, by the way, that you don't use the nade on yourself. And you go for the health pack instead. I like that. But I don't know. Are you waiting for like to hit a 5-man or something with it? Like, do you only want to hit huge nades? Here, good spot for a nade, and he's deflecting. He's deflecting, but the thing is, his hitbox got, or his deflect hitbox got nerfed, right? So it's not a big of a risk to try to hit a nade. Like, I mean, even here, just throwing on the Moira, huge, because she's used to shift, right? So she's like, you nade her, she's gonna know how to run, and she can't self-heal. Now, of course, you might actually be thinking about that, because you start working out, but then the Gengu comes running in. You can hit a nade on the wall. Here. I think if you hit it up here, on this particular part of it, if you hit it here, it probably wouldn't do anything, but if you hit it here, or here, I think it would actually hit him. Pretty sure it would hit him. and that would be big. And it's not a huge risk for you because the deflect hitbox got nerfed in the sense that it only covers that specific area. Like back in the day before that nerf, that might actually have been risky to go for a nade here, but it isn't anymore. If you go for a nade there, even like if you just throw it on the ground somewhere like here, that might actually be okay too. Now you go for a nade? I'm not quite sure what... I think maybe your thinking is that you can hit 3 people here. And that's not bad thinking, but at the same time, you're aiming way too high. But again, it's just a matter of practice, figuring out where to hit, how to hit it, how to throw it, all that. Team is botting out, so you have to go up and try to help him. Like, why is your Orisa letting the DPS flank? Or, tank, I mean. Like, as a tank, you don't want to let this happen. Like, even if your DPS choose to bot out, I guess maybe the problem is if you start walking up as a tank, they might think, oh, okay, well, then I can walk even further up. But, man, that's sad. There we go with the face tanking Moira again. And she's backing up into like the dumbest position. Hit a nade. You kill her. That's good. But then this happens. Again with I'm not sure, maybe you should have had a little bit more trigger discipline there again. Second. Because then you could have hit the sleep dart on the Mercy instead. Here's the thing, yet again. Yet again. Mercy running in there. She's feeding. You should punish that. Nade. Like, there were so many people standing together that you could hit an amazing aggressive nade on. And you want to always try to go for that. Like, I think... Yeah, like, she has a shield, okay, but the D.Va's, like, walking in front. Okay, she might have the face Mestrix? What am I saying? But... You could try hitting it on the ground here. Pretty sure that would, at the very least, hit the D.Va. Maybe try going for a nade here. I'm not sure that would be enough. If they walked a little bit forward, then it would be good. Might hit the Zarya though, so you get a little bit value out of it. But you constantly need to try to look for these angles. Like, can you hit it on the ground? Somewhere close to them, where she won't just eat it. Over here, because she's looking this way. And then you'll hit a bunch of people with it. You need to look for those offensive nades, because it's almost always huge if you hit like potentially 3 people here, right? Potentially. At least 2. That's big. The Genji bots the fuck out. Hit him with a nade. That's a shame. I'm not sure why you scoped out there. You hit the Genjis, that's good, but then... Yeah, I don't know, did you try to go for a quick scope? Yeah, I think you did. I think you tried to go for a quick scope. I don't think that was really the time for it. I think right then and there, you could have just stayed scoped in. Like, a quick scope is something you want to go for in the case of, let's say, a Genji who, like, jumps up into the air and just need, like, you know, he Dragon Blades and he just needs, like, that topping off. And you just don't have, like, opportunity, or you don't have opportunity to scope in because you're being attacked yourself. But again, potentially could have been good, but that's just a matter of practice. So that's not a lot to comment on there otherwise. I... People are Skyping me. You're using... Instead of using your nano offensively here, you're using it reactively. And I think that's a mistake. Like, I think the nano is an opportunity creator, right? It's not an opportunity denier, like, let's say Zenyatta's ultimate generally is. You can also use Zenyatta's ultimate offensively, like if a Genji on your team starts ulting and it's clear that he's gonna like he's trying to 1v4 or something, you can use trans to run in after him and make sure that he doesn't die. But nano, I feel, is a little bit different. It's something you want to use at the start of a fight rather than unless the fight goes on for a very long time and no one's dying. And also you're using it on Zarya, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because even if she doesn't like have a huge amount of charge, it gives her a bunch of extra damage and it makes it easier for her to charge her ultimate quicker. And that's the other thing, by the way. You really need to press tab a lot more, and because you can see where people's ultimates are, or not what they are, but where like are they charged, right? Because you have a soldier in the team. I can't remember. I don't think you had that earlier. No, you had a Junkrat earlier, right? And nanoing Junkrat, but he was using his ultimate, gives no value. By the way, it's funny how there's some ultimates that like where it doesn't matter if you nano them. Second, Skype people want me. Yeah, anyway, let's see what happens here. Yeah. Pays off anyway, because the team's botting out. This is a good time to try to hit an 8, by the way, on D.Va, because she's meching in, so she can't deface me. Why do I keep saying that? Defense matrix it. Nate. I don't know how, but you start looking the other way, and of course, you know, it's not that looking that way is a bad thing. It's just, but you hear that fire at will, right? You need to think, ew, right? Because that's where you can potentially hit a fucking fatty, right? Because everyone's just sitting together, and they don't have a Zenyatta, but if they did, you could just completely, like, turn that shit around by hitting that nade. The moment you hear you hear Zarya saying that shit, you need to just immediately be like, oh, it's my fucking birthday, right? Like, but you're looking at, like, he's not, like, what's he gonna do? Like, he can't one-shot you or anything here, right? So there's no reason for you to keep looking at him for so long. But there's no one in the grab anyway. Actually, I'm not sure if there was anyone in the grab, but whatever. It's fine. I have no problems with that use of the nade. It's fine. The team fight is over, so just use it to heal yourself. Fine. This is actually a funky, like, this is funny, right? Because generally I would say that this is a good angle, but for some reason your team is, like, stacked up, like, unusual. Like, that doesn't usually happen, right? Like, normally your team is stacked up, like, they would be standing like, and then you'd be, you know, you'd be somewhere here, potentially, right? But for some reason they're like, sorry. So standing like this will do, like, that would actually make it harder for you. It's weird. This is a weird situation. Yeah. So potentially standing further back might actually be better here. But yeah, whatever. Nate, you might actually be... Now, he's super low anyways, but you hit the sleep on him, which is also fine. It's fine, but this is also one of those moments where you could look for, potentially for a nade here, right? Because he's standing all the way over there, so I think that if you threw it... maybe he might be too far away, but if you throw it up there, could potentially hit him. And anyway, in any case, even if you wait, he does that, he turns around, nade, and then you can still sleep him in a way. You still have you have to like these two abilities are really quickly fired off. I think you can do the same thing basically, where you're like you press C and then you immediately hold down shift and they'll fire off almost simultaneously. Not sure though. What am I doing? Thoughts. Nade. Like there's so many things here where you could have, yeah, whatever. You used the nade there, at least. At the very least, you used it there. Okay, fair. Should have been doing that a lot more throughout the match. It is a little lucky that they're trickling in right now, because you hitting a nade on your teammates there, and the enemy would actually have been huge. But luckily they're botting out, they're not grouping up, so whatever, right? Zero to 2. Alright, let's skip ahead there. Alright. Looking at the comp now, but the thing is, you don't necessarily get a good, and the other thing is of course that you can see, well, what do they have on the enemy team, and you can take precautions according to what they have on the enemy team, right? Maybe the Genji would switch to something, maybe he would switch to, let's say, Hanzo, so all of a sudden you have an insta-give ability to worry about, and you need to like use corners even more than you did before. Doing it again, drawing thoughts. But yeah, when you leave the spawn, press tab again just to be sure that this is actually, this is actually the comp that they're running with, because there's no guarantee that that's the case. All right, skip. Everybody skip. All right. What was that running down there? Let's see. One sec.
Okay.
This isn't something you can do something about, right? I'm just curious. Like, what the fuck is he doing? Yeah, the Genji's... He's probably gonna feed. He's already in some combat over there. Yeah. Classic, like... People think that because something is designated as a flanker, then they have to go on a flank like this, right? Well, you have to flank. You can't just sit, like, you can't just be with your team. And it's like, you can. A lot of high-rank Genjis would just stick with their Reinhardt here, actually, and look for opportunities that their team creates, rather than try to... whatever. You do need to move a bit forward here, because the problem with this positioning here is that there's a lot of clutter in the way, right? Like, you have this shit, you have the statue over there. So you do need to move a bit up with your team here, and I think I feel like I remember you stay back a bit too long, and you get caught out. Yeah. You lose line of sight of a lot of people here because there's just so much crap. Like, this is one of those situations where, like, you do need to... this shit, like, there's just so much that's covering for... This is one of the situations where you should probably just follow your Reinhardt up there, even though it is a little bit dangerous for you to go into close quarters. But again, you have this tool, even if you are caught out in close quarters, there are things that you can do as Ana potentially, right? And yeah, now this happens. I think I remember what happens here. The minute you see this, you don't stay scoped in. Because this guy wants your dick, right? Or wants to give you the dick, whatever, right? And some people might think that that's a nice thing. It's not in this case. Not in this case. It's very non-consensual in this case. Right? Like, he's the only one who's going to get pleasure out of it. Or she is. Whatever. strap on, you know. This is like, you're already screwing yourself. Don't move forward here. Do not move forward here when you're up against the Brigitte. That was your first and last like, well, okay, it wasn't your first mistake, but I think that this was your last mistake. Yeah, because now you're stunned. She's gonna knock you around. She has a self-heal when she's knocking you around. Do you even have time to get the nade? Because what I would do here is just look down, press Z immediately. Yeah, no, that's no. Yeah, I don't know if you're trying to hit her, but in this case, you know she's right next to you. You look down, you hit that nade. She gets an anti-heal. At the very least, you get to do some damage. You get a little ult charge. You get to heal yourself and stay alive for maybe a couple more seconds. Maybe someone could come back and help you. This is a tragedy. Fortunate series of events. Yeah. Potentially the Moira might actually have been able to. I don't know if she had her eyes on you there. Was she looking that way? Nah, she was looking the other way. She wouldn't have that. Well, maybe she would. Maybe if you'd managed to get that, like, just look down, nade. Someone's close quarters with you. Generally, unless it's Genji, where you might have to hit a wall or something because he's double jumping. Just look down and just be like 100% safe that that nade's gonna get value. Don't try to aim like for him. Yeah, it's like this is Christmas for him. Right, the other thing about sleep dot, of course, is I think you wanted to start hitting you before you use it. Like, you shouldn't have been in that situation in the first place. You should have just turned around and started running away. Like, make him give up the chase, right? Because, like, if he can see that you're starting to run away, eventually he's gonna think, oh shit, maybe my team actually needs me. Luckily, it doesn't pay off for him, right? It's feeding. Like, both in you were doing really stupid things there. But luckily, you know, even though you end up feeding a little bit, it's worse for him, right? Because he's not with his team. He's supposed to be with his team.
If we are to progress, we must claim
It's a lot worse for a defender to do that than for an attacker.
Join me.
In this case, at least. Also, that sounds like a spaceship when it's gonna get stopped by itself. Jesus Christ. Yeah. When you know there's a tire around, just hide, because it's... So that was the right decision. I like how you're, like, looking in there, like... I'm not sure what you're thinking there, but I personally have been thinking one of two things. First of all, what a fucking idiot. That he's just running in there and getting actually just dying like that. And second of all, should I go in there and try to challenge whoever standing in there? And it's like... If that was your line of thinking, I like how I can almost follow it. Like, should I go in? No. That was the right decision. Nade. Look for a nade here, because... Or at least start looking for one, right? Because you can see that they had the shield here. And there's a really good solid wall over here. You can throw it over. Hit. Somewhere on here. And also the brigade is pushing up because he's being an idiot, so you could actually potentially, instead of looking on the wall, you could just look on the ground here. Maybe hit, like if you hit the bottom of the payload here, you'd probably get naded. He's feeding again, so punish that. Good to sleep down on her though, that's good. But I think you should have still gone for the nade first. I'm not sure what happens there. Did she... Yeah. You have a bit more trigger discipline with the sleep dot though, so that's good. That is an interesting choice, by the way. Like, that nano... I do that myself sometimes, just when... Even if the Reinhardt just makes a mistake, right? Because it's like, the nano can potentially save him out of a really bad situation. But I can't help but think, like... Did you know that he was actually going to hit anything? Because I can't really see fuck all here. Oh, did you spot the Reinhardt shield? There's just so much clutter right now. Man, got good eyes if that's the case. Because I couldn't fucking see it. Yeah, that's also one of those situations where just quickly turn around to see if someone's shooting you, but if you can see, no, there's no one there, just turn around again immediately. Good shot, not gonna lie, but you hear him, you hear the visor, you need to start running. But in this case, I mean, I don't know, you're already so low health that you might have got away, so maybe this was actually the right decision to just fuck it, let's go for the shot. Yeah. Yeah, you probably didn't really have anywhere to run anyway. So that was cheeky, but it paid off. I like it. Getting back from respawn, the funnest thing about Overwatch. She's feeding again. Hit a nade on her! Hit a nade! Nade! Like, she's using the shield there, and you're walking forward. Why are you walking forward? Back up. It's Peter. She's going to fuck you so fucking hard. No, you're walking forward again. I like that you hit the nade there, by the way. But you're walking forward again. Why are you walking forward here? You should be running. Hit the sleep nade on her because she's bad. She's a bot. That's good. But I still don't understand why you didn't just keep backing up, because again, she's feeding. She's doing nothing here. She's irrelevant. Like, she keeps walking towards you. Okay, you just baited out one of the best supports for the enemy team. She's walking to get you, and there's literally no point for her to do that. Yeah. Just never mind her. Just keep walking. She's doing nothing. Like, if someone does this, like, just ignore them. Just move on. They're gonna come back at some point, but what, I mean, what are they gonna do? They're one person. Look at this. Feeding. Feeding. She's wasting her ultimate! What a fucking bot, dude. What did you think she was gonna accomplish with that? Holy shit. Sleep. That is the way to do it, by the way. It's like, you see him come out, he stands still for a second because he's gonna hook. If you can read, like, that animation quickly enough, you get a sleep dart. He wastes his hook, and you get the sleep. You live. That's huge. Of course, the problem is that your team is running the other way. If everyone just ran towards that Roadhog, unfortunately, he pushes him out of the way instead of actually charging him. Now, I'm not sure what happens there. I think what happened, maybe it's a combination of the Zarya right-click and the Reinhardt. No, the Reinhardt's too far away, isn't he? Not doing anything. You know, it's not the Reinhardt. I think it's just the Zarya right-click. That unfortunately completely hog blocks your grenade there. Why are you looking this way? Like, yeah, sure, your jump grad's low, but you didn't know that, right? No, there's no reason for you to turn around here. Like, yeah, someone's shooting in the back, but this fight that's going on over here, way more important. Fortunately, you didn't hit your sleep dart, but like, finish off these guys back here. And again, you are standing very much out in the open, not gonna lie. You always want to, like, feel like you have some place to very quickly get behind, right? If you just stood over here, if someone starts shooting in the back, you can very easily just walk around that corner. And if someone starts shooting you from this direction, you walk around the corner again, this way, right? Easy. It'd be a lot safer. She gets a hack on you. Yeah, just run here. Grenade, yeah, it's fine. Fine. Here's the thing. When it comes to judging nano targets, right, you do have a Genji now, of course. I don't know how long you've had that. I can't remember. This is also why you need to press tab a lot, right? You need to keep an eye on which members, like, what characters are your team playing. Because you need to keep evaluating, okay, so my potential nano target is gonna be who, exactly? Could be Junkrat. It's got a lot of mobility. You know, and he can just pump shots, like, even if he doesn't necessarily get shots on characters, they're never gonna have a fucking barrier, right? Because it just punches damage into those barriers. So that in itself is just really good. But he also has mobility, so you can get into a position where you can just punch damage into the tanks as well, right? So he's actually an okay target for Nano. Potentially. It depends where he is. Genji not so much unless he's ulting. Reinhardt can also be good, depending on where he is. If he's like in the middle of the enemy team, good, opportunity for Nano. Zarya, good because you help charge her ultimate. But generally you want to try to not give it to her, I'd say. But potentially, and again, press tab. Where's the ultimate at? If she's on 80% or something, and the team fight is starting, and you give her Nano, she's gonna get her ultimate so fucking fast. Unless it's just shooting barriers, of course, but hopefully she can get a couple of shots or right clicks on some people, and then she will just have her ultimate almost instantly. Funny thing is, Moira with the Nano, when she is doing the Kamehameha, is actually also pretty good. At least if the Moira can figure out how to things. That's always a problem, though. Yeah, you're winning this easy peasy. Yeah. So in summary, start learning to spam tab. Keep an eye on your team's characters. What are they playing? Which targets do you think would be good for Nano? Consider that all the time. And just keep an eye on where their ultimates are at. Because again, if you have Genji doesn't have his ultimate, but he's on, let's say, 80%, just go for it. If you can see that you want to initiate a fight, just go for it. Because if he hits just a couple of shurikens, he has his ultimate instantly. Because he's doing so much more damage, right? And again, try to use it. Keep using your ultimate as an initiator rather than trying to save people. Again with the, I don't know if you just spotted that the Reinhardt actually hit the enemy Reinhardt. Could be that the reason I couldn't quite see it is because there's a lot of artifacts on the video. I don't know. I wouldn't have spotted that. I might have put a Nano on him myself just to make sure that he didn't die immediately as he came in, but that's generally not how you want to use it. You want to use it as an initiator. And goddamn, dude, so many times throughout this video, I was actually almost facepalming because I don't understand. A lot of the time, I don't understand what you're saving this for. I really don't. You need to be a little bit more liberal about when you use it. It's like you have the wrong trigger discipline. It's like you save this in the way that you should be saving this, whereas you're using this one. You're using this more liberally than this. And I can't even remember which of them has the highest cooldown. Actually. Cooldown. And second. Here. Abilities. See? Oh no, here we go. Cooldown. 10 seconds on the biotic nade, 12 seconds on the sleep dart. So the cooldown is bigger, that's what I thought. The cooldown is bigger in the sleep dart, so you can definitely use the biotic nade more liberally than you're using sleep dart. Sleep dart is what you need to have a bit more trick discipline for. This one is less punishing to use more liberally. So you have it the wrong way around, so. Yeah, I think that's the key. And experiment more with high ground, I would say. Because there's so much high ground in this map. And there's generally a lot of high ground on a lot of maps that you can take and try to look at and experiment with. And you're probably going to get jumped a lot. That's probably going to happen. But don't be scared of doing that, because then you're going to learn. You're going to learn, okay, well, that was probably not the spot to be then. Yeah. I think that was my. I hope this didn't go above 2 hours, but yeah, this is still fun. I don't know how much I'm willing to keep doing this, but it is fun. So, I don't know. I might just do it with text next time if you send me something, just general pointers. Because it does take quite some time, apparently, but that's because I can't stop myself. This is so much fun. Alright. Good luck with that. Try out some things. Learn to spot those opportunities with the nades. Keep a lookout for, like, where's the shield? Can I hit it above the shield? Can I hit it above a wall that someone's standing behind? Can I just hit it on the ground right next to them? Can I, you know, like, if a Genji is attacking me, instead of using the sleep dart first, unless he's ulting, of course. And then if you miss the sleep dart, you still have your freaking nade. Use it. Even if you don't kill him, at the very least you get some damage into him, and your team might be able to finish him off, right? So that maybe it's only you who die. Yeah. Yep, that's it, I think. Good night.